subscribe, folks. It's free.
Well, I hung the door frame today. I think it's gonna be all right. That door doesn't have a threshold, so I'm gonna have to build something myself. Keep the weather out, keep the wind out. It should be all right. You gotta remember that this room is gonna be a workshop. It's not like an apartment or a tiny home or anything like that. We're not trying to turn it into something that you can live in. Just a warm, dry, or cool, dry place for my wife to come and build her wreaths where it's not in the house. So, you know, we're gonna insulate the ceiling and we're gonna put insulation on the walls and make sure that my wife can be comfortable in here because she's gonna do her videos in here and stuff and she doesn't wanna be overly warm or overly cold. We bought those doors used. They're from a used building supply store. We're probably gonna go back there and buy some more stuff, but it's kind of fun recycling old stuff. And I even thought about maybe putting different kind of hinges on there, you know, hinges that kind of sit on the wall almost, make it look like a barn or something. But I probably won't. I'll probably just put the regular door hinges that's supposed to be on it. And she'll be able to close it, lock it up. It is hot. It's in the 80s today. I know it was 81 at 2 o'clock, so it might be cooling down by now, but I think I'm gonna go get in the pool to cool off and maybe I'll feel like doing a little bit more work after that.
3 hours later.
2x4. Champion, my friend. To be fair, to be fair, to be fair. So, I was listening to Piers Morgan one time, and he was talking about living in a monarchy. And I thought it was kind of interesting. He really likes a monarchy better than what we do. Because he said that they know who their president's going to be, you know? So it takes all the guesswork out of it. 89. So they can send them to college and to learn how to be, or they can do all the things to help them learn how to be the president or be a leader of their country. And when he was talking about that, I started thinking to myself, wouldn't it be kind of neat if we could incorporate having a king and at the same time keeping all of the important things about our Constitution intact. So it's like for instance, let's say we decide, we vote on it, that the Trumps are going to be the royal family. So from now on, the Trump sons will eventually become our future king. 89.
Hey guys. Is it okay if I say hey and talk? No?
You already said it. I think you're good. Right? Anyway, so we keep our Constitution intact and we would do all the voting and everything just like we normally do, except for the president. The president is going to be a Trump from now on until until whenever. No. Anyway, so every 4 years when we have this huge election and spend all this money to have this election, we won't do that anymore. We know that Don Jr. is going to be our president. So we can take Don Jr. and make sure that he knows, from birth, he knows everything that he has to know to be the leader of the free world. And so when Donald Trump Sr. decides that he's done, then Don Jr. would be the king, and he would be our president, and so on and so forth. And so we could take, that's just a crazy idea, but we could take their whole life and kind of mold them in that direction. Anyway, Pierce Morgan had some really good points on why he believes that living under a monarchy is better. And I thought they were pretty good points. And the main one was because they know who their president's going to be. It's not, they don't have to have an election. They don't have to waste their time and risk, they don't have to risk some smooth talking deadbeat like Barack Obama becomes our president, and then we have to deal with that for 4 years, sometimes 8 years. If you're wondering why I made that short, is because I want to put a plug-in up there. I could probably hang that box tonight. Anyway, I wanted to put room. I wanted to leave room for a box, for an electrical box. But I also wanted something to nail to all the way up. I'm gonna go get my ladder. Yeah, so let's think about that. How would that work, We could have a huge election, and we would decide in the election who our royal family would be. And from now on out, you could have some contingencies, situations where if that just didn't work out for whatever reason, the family that we choose didn't work out, that we could vote again in the future. And instead of voting on one guy, we would be voting on the entire family. So there'll be it would be a huge deal. So it'd have to be like a year process where we get to know these people. And then we know once we elect that guy that he's going to be our king until he retires. So we'd have to be very careful on who we pick. But then we'd also know that his son is going to be our future king. And so we could take him from childhood and train him how to be a president. So that when he gets old enough to finally take control of the country, like he already knows the stuff. We're not voting on a city. What was Obama? Obama was like an organizer or something. And maybe you liked Obama. I don't know. There are a lot of people who liked him. But I thought he was a real waste. I thought it was a wasted presidency. I mean, what did he do in a second term? I think he legalized gay marriage and let's see here. Legalized gay marriage. Well, that's right. He said that transgender people who used to be men but are now trans women can use the women's bathroom. That's what it was. He put men in women's bathrooms. Those were his two accomplishments for his entire 4 years, latter 4 years. I mean, what a piece of work, that guy. Jeez. Plus, he was our first black president. And I always thought, what an opportunity to finally put to rest all of the racial crap that goes on in our country, you know? And he took that opportunity and he squandered it. He squandered it because he could have done so much. Didn't do nothing. I didn't leave myself enough room, as usual. So I know you can't see what I'm doing. Maybe you can see on this camera. I got a electrical box right here. This is, it has pointed outside, as you can see. It's going to be the electrical box that brings power into the workstation, or the work. All right, here we go again. So what I'm experiencing right now is the screw won't go into this 2x4. Because I either have the hardest 2x4 known to man or the dullest screw. Unbelievable. All right, so the power is going to come in there. It's going to go through here, down here, and then right over there to this plug-in, if you can see it. And then it'll come to the light switch and go up into the ceiling, and a couple of ceiling fans, and a couple lights, fixtures in the back. That'll be nice. Anyway, so that's done. Got something to nail to. What's going on, babe? Millie's wake up? Milwaukee. Little Milster. Oh, my arms aren't long enough. My arms aren't long enough, Millie. No, my eyes ain't good enough to read it. I would say 82 and a quarter. 92 and a quarter. 92 and a quarter.
Really?
There they are. There's the little Milster. What'd I say, 92 and a quarter? Think so. Need a tubie for tubie for. Oh. You need a lamp out here. Yeah. The most successful door hanging I ever did was when I watched a video by Bob Vila. Do you remember Bob Vila? Bob Vila was the Sears Robux handyman guy, and he promoted what do they sell at Sears? No, I don't even think Sears is a thing anymore. I think Walmart or Weimart. No, Kmart. I think Kmart bought him out. Or maybe it was Walmart. Anyway, I think they sold Craftsman tools. Well, Bob Vila also had a show, what do they call it, a home improvement show. Did I lose a foot? I lost a foot off my ladder. Yeah, it was a home improvement show. And one show he had was they just came out with the spray foam that's specifically made for doors and windows. And he had this method. You only put a few screws in the door just to make it plumb, and then you fill the rest of the area, the rest of the gap, with door and window spray foam, which is what I did here. That's my front door on my house. I put in using the same method, and that door still to this day, I mean, it's been up, I probably did that 15 years ago. And that door, even with 6 kids slamming it over and over and over again, that thing is solid. It still closes so easy. It's great. Anyway, my head's gonna disappear, but I'm gonna put one more screw in this stud. Old Bob Vila, man. Anyways, tell me what you think about my idea about having a king. I know a lot of Democrats are going to be freaked out hearing it, you know, because they have all these no king rallies and stuff. But just imagine that for a second. I'm not saying it's ever going to happen. I'm just saying that we'd have this election and we'd vote on who our royal family is going to be. And then from then on out, we can, you know, kind of mold them into the leaders that we need to have in the future. So all the important parts of our government, all the stuff that works, like everybody being free, all that stuff, and the government staying out of our pockets, staying out of our business, all that kind of stuff would remain the same. The only difference would be is our president would be pre-selected all the time. So there would be no reason to spend billions of dollars on these stupid elections trying to convince you that one person or the other is the best guy for the job. We would already know who the guy's going to be as a child, and we could send him to college, leadership schools, military schools, and they could learn everything that they need to learn, because they know that one day you're going to be the president of this United States and you're going to need to know all this stuff. And like I say, we could still have a contingency just in case that family kind of flakes out. We could, at that time, you know, do something with Congress where we choose another family instead because this one's not working out, or something like that. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, but like I say, Piers Morgan, he was on Greg Gutfeld one night, and he was talking about the system actually works a lot better because they know who their king is going to be. They know who their leader is going to be in the future. They already know him. You know, they've known him since he was a child, and they can train him and work with him so that he's prepared. Like, hey, you don't need to worry about anything else. You have a job. You're the king when you get old enough. So here's what you need to know. When it's time for him to step behind that podium and take control of the thing, you know, he's ready. I don't know. It sounds like a good idea to me. Anyways, I think I'm done for the night. This front wall has turned out really nice. The door, I already put the door in here earlier. I just kind of set it there to see if it's going to work. Like I said before, it doesn't have a threshold. So I'm going to have to build one myself. Put it down there. It shouldn't be too hard. I'll just use plastic or something, some kind of waterproof material. And it shouldn't get wet anyways. I'm going to put a little roof over this part. Now you can't see my hand, but I'm holding it up where the roof should be. And it's going to, water's going to run off. And so it won't be on the concrete. Concrete's going to be right here. So anyways, that's what's going on. Hey, we'll see you next time. Right here tomorrow morning. We got some work to do.